Nyatanwa. Ruben Berg here. Not long to go now until the referendum, but it's still important for those of us who do support it to get out there and share the message that this is a simple, straightforward referendum about recognition, about listening, and the vast majority of Aboriginal people do support this voice. I thought I'd just share briefly today two of the common concerns I've heard from people about the referendum and about the voice. And one of those is that there's no need for this voice to be in the Constitution. We should just legislate for it and have it exist. It doesn't need to be in the Constitution. And there's a few concerns I have with that perspective. One is that we have done that before. We've had at least 5 different bodies in the past, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander bodies, to provide advice, sometimes to provide services at the Commonwealth level, and those have all been removed. Government decided they no longer wanted that advice, they no longer wanted that body, and so those bodies were removed at the whims of the politicians of the day. And that's why the Uluru Statement from the Heart says we want this voice in the Constitution, so that we're no longer subject to the whims of the politicians, so that our voice isn't reliant on the goodwill of politicians. Our ability to be heard isn't reliant on the goodwill of the media. We want our voice enshrined within the Constitution, so it will always be there to give advice and to be able to lead to better outcomes. The other issue that I've heard some people raise is that, well, there's already 11 Indigenous members of federal parliament, so why do we need a voice? Surely they represent Aboriginal peoples. And I've got some concerns with that view as well. One of those being that those elected members of federal parliament who are Indigenous, and it's great to have them there, but they don't represent the Aboriginal community specifically. They represent their particular electorate and they represent the political party they're a part of. So they're not there to give advice about First Peoples issues. They're there to represent their electorate and to represent their political party. And yes, right now there are 11 of them, but that's no guarantee. Could be after the next 2 election cycles, there's no Indigenous federal members of parliament. So it's not enough to just say, well, there's 11 there now, so we don't need a voice. We need a voice. We need it enshrined in the Constitution. Aboriginal people are asking to be heard. Vote yes in this referendum. Thank you. Well, look,